Republicans have been up in arms the last few months, claiming that anyone who disagrees with them on any of their policies, really, is somehow some kind of child abuser, or the word they like to use now is groomer. But it all comes back to some form of abusing children. And apparently, like most other things with the Republican Party, it is pure projection. Case in point, the radio silence coming from Republicans as one of their own from the state of Louisiana was arrested for the second time in 1 month for child abuse. Now, this isn't just any old Republican, right? This is a member of the executive committee of the Tammany Parish Republican Party in the state of Louisiana. Now, if you're not familiar with the state of Louisiana, Tammany Parish is actually a pretty big area. So it's a pretty significant role within the Republican Party in the state of Louisiana. Oh, but it gets even worse. Not only was this man on the executive committee, but he was also a pastor. Oh, it gets so much worse too, because he was also, up until very recently, the second arrest, the headmaster of a Christian school in the state of Louisiana, who has now been arrested again for the second time in 1 month for alleged child abuse. And of course, we have to say alleged because he has not been convicted of any of this, even though he's admitted to a little bit of it. So let me get in to what this bastard did to these kids. Right now, it is alleged, some of this behavior, by the way, goes back to 2017, that he was beating the kids in his school. One of them was reportedly a 4-year-old boy that he grabbed by the ankles, suspended upside down, and, quote, whipped his buttocks. That is what is being accused, along with other forms of abuse. Now, the thing he admitted to that he was arrested for earlier, or about a month or so ago, let me read this. Allegedly taping kids' mouths shut at the Christian school he runs in Slidell, a city in the St. Tammany Parish. At the time, he defended his actions, telling reporters he gave the 5 children a choice of having their mouths closed with packing tape or face school suspensions because they were bullying a teacher. He claimed that, quote, all 5 volunteered to have their mouths taped shut, and, quote, said the tape didn't impede their breathing and wasn't wrapped all the way around their heads. So he admitted it. That, by the way, is from Raw Story. He admitted it. Like, yeah, I taped their mouths shut, but they could still breathe through their noses. Assuming, none of them had any colds and didn't have any, breathing issues. Maybe, hopefully, none of them had asthma, because even if you can breathe through your nose with asthma, it can still trigger a very severe asthma attack that can obviously be fatal. As an asthmatic my entire life, I know that, by the way. But they didn't put him on a leave of absence from the school after that instance, by the way. It was only after this second arrest that the school says he's on an extended leave of absence from the school. That was the one, obviously, where he picked up the 4-year-old and was beating him. But I can't imagine, like, bullying a teacher, okay? You're talking about a Christian school, too, by the way. So how bad could the bullying have been to where the teacher goes whining to the headmistress and sits there, or headmaster, and sits there in silence as he tapes their mouths shut? Well, the good news is that you've probably got a pretty serious lawsuit on your hands, at the very least, I would imagine. I would hope that the parents of these children are immediately talking with their lawyers to find a way to take this man and that school for everything that they've got. Because that may be the only justice that we see in this particular instance. But again, this is a Republican official from the state of Louisiana, and Republicans are dead silent about the abuse that these children suffered allegedly at this man's hands. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel? We also encourage you to like, comment, and share, but again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.